Joining us now, Senator Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming, chair of the Senate Banking Subcommittee on Digital Assets, which oversees cryptocurrency policy, which we were just had a long discussion with our last guest about. Senator, do you have a path forward with clarity? Can you give us clarity on clarity?
Absolutely. So with a successful markup in the Banking Committee, we now need to wrap the Clarity Act, which dealt with the SEC portion of jurisdiction, with the Agriculture Committee's product, which dealt with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission component of the digital asset industry, fold that in with ethics, and then some really nice work that both Senator Hagerty have done and Senator also Brooks, your last guest, and Tom Tillis did with regard to correcting what the banks see as an unfavorable outcome for them with the Genius Act that we passed last summer. And then finally wrap it with some ethics legislation. So wrapping all of those into one product that's presented on the floor of the Senate and then needs 60 votes for cloture.
I was just going to say, Senator also Brooks said she would not vote for it on the floor unless some of these issues are addressed.
And
How complicated is that?
And we are addressing them. Yeah. So, for example, on DeFi, which Senator also Brooks mentioned, and others have as well. I continue to work with Senator Cortez Masto. She was the Attorney General in Nevada, dealt with some of the anti-money laundering issues that casinos see. So she has expertise in that area. So as she works with law enforcement to make sure that they're happy, I'm trying to work with some people in the digital asset industry to make sure we don't go too far. Case in point. People who write code for Bitcoin products, for example, don't know when they put their product out there who's using it. They don't know if it's being used for illicit purposes or legitimate purposes. So they should be protected from liability since they don't know who the user is. So we're trying to make those balances.
Banks can say the same thing. But banks are told they have to track it and be responsible for it.
And we have AML and BSA standards in this bill for digital assets, contrary to what the banks some of the banks are saying.
Have you ever sat with Jamie Dimon on this issue?
Not recently, but
he's had some harsh words for all of this. You know.
Oh yeah, it's really distasteful remarks, especially towards Brian Armstrong of Coinbase. I would say
Jamie said he thought was full of.
Yeah, exactly.
Full of.
So here's what
rhymes with it.
Yeah.
Here's where Jamie Dimon is absolutely wrong. He either hasn't read the bill, or he wants to mislead people. And let's put the best construction on this. He hasn't read the bill. AML, anti-money laundering provisions that apply to banks, and the Bank Secrecy Act provisions that apply to banks also apply into digital assets. It's in the bill. There's something like 16, 17 references in the bill to the application of those laws.
I guess here's where I'm confused on it. You just said that they can't be expected to know who's using it and for what.
This is the code writers.
Okay.
Okay. There's a difference between the person who is, for example, has a trust that is issued a digital asset. Let's say Ethereum. Mm-hmm. That person does have access. Mm-hmm. The person who wrote the code for Ethereum doesn't have access. Once they've written the code, it's out there. It's either open sourced or it's been written pursuant to a proprietary product, but they don't know who the end user is. So we have to protect the code writers, but then apply the traditional banking laws to the actual trust companies.
So you're saying the code writers are the equivalent of the printing presses at the Treasury?
Well, they're not.
They create the money and send it out.
Well, they're not an equivalent. These are very, very different venues for the store of value.
I have a maybe hard one for you.
Okay.
There are folks in the banking business who are against this, who say that you collect a lot of donations and things from people in the crypto industry, and how we should think about that.
Well, anybody who's on a committee that works with a certain legislative package is going to receive contributions from people who are in the industries that are affected. Now, I put my own Bitcoin in a blind trust, truly blind. I don't even know if I still own it. And
hopefully not right now.
No, actually, I'm in it for the long haul.
Well, she also got in early, which, by the way, is the other argument that some people make about this, which is that you have a vested. I mean, this goes to the question of the economic vested interest that lawmakers may or may not have in whatever the legislation is that's being pursued, right?
Yeah, I have no idea whether I still own Bitcoin because it's in a truly blind trust. But let me ask you this. I'm also a rancher. I own cattle. Cattle are commodities. Should I be foreclosed from accepting a contribution from the National Cattlemen's Beef Association all of a sudden?
I don't know.
I'd be curious how many people on this committee are getting funding from the banks or lobbying from the banks as well.
That's the other factor here. Who's received contributions from credit unions, from banks, from G-SIBs?
Okay, now we're into a broader philosophical question. Do you think that people who sit in these chairs behind us should say that they are not going to accept any financial donations from anybody with a vested interest in the issue?
I do not.
Okay, because?
I disagree, because the people that come here with expertise frequently got it because they came out of being a director on a bank.
Well, I'm not saying if you have experience in the past. I'm saying whether the financial donations that are made from fundraising perspective should be allowed from people who have a vested interest, because therefore the public says, oh my goodness, I see a debate happening between the crypto industry and the banking industry, and everybody who's making the decisions is being paid off by these people.
Well, the contribution is based on a person's knowledge, advocacy, and so they're more apt to invest regardless of what the subject is. Your next guest is an expert on defense. Should he be foreclosed from
receiving money from the defense industry?
It's a broad question on money and politics, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and the Supreme Court has already decided.
I personally disagree with that, but it's a legitimate discussion that you can have with him as well.
How do you feel about prediction markets?
It's something new to me, and I think that it's some of these innovations that are so new to us, we should be behind them. The innovators are inventing new technologies in new areas that are going to become such a huge part of the 21st century economy.
Do you think people in Congress and Senate should be trading on prediction markets?
Well, I don't think they do, but if they do, I think that should also be subject to a blind trust.